Welcome back. And joining us on the show now is Mr. Somasundaram. He is Regional CEO India at World Gold Council. Som, hi, good to have you as always. You know, the US Fed meeting, and ahead of that, we have seen various asset classes see a bit of a decline. But gold and silver seem to be getting hit the most because there is a lot of correlation that people try to read in with the interest rate hikes, the US dollar movement and gold as well. Would you say that 75 basis point of a rate hike has been factored in now, and it majorly is going to be about what US Fed does in November, December? That really seems to be bothering the space.
Yes, exactly. Gold is already down 7.5% since the beginning of the year. And the hike of 75 basis seems to have been factored in, and nobody expects anything lower than that. But what happens will be what is the forward-looking statements they make about further rate increases or about other aspects of the economy. That will be clearly watched. So yes, gold as of now is facing severe headwinds.
Oh, yes, it is. So, you know, when you look back at the year until now, the first 3 quarters of this year, and we've done a range of 2,050 to 1,650 already. What is your sense on how the last quarter of this year would look like? And are we near the bottom, really?
It's very difficult to say because then, you could really, if you know that, you would be taking very strong positions on that. And also, we don't forecast the prices, as you know. What I can say is clearly the fourth quarter and what's happening to the gold price is going to be very, very good for demand. It's already below 50,000 and we are entering the season. So when it comes to the Indian demand, I think we should watch out for a big spike.
Oh, well, absolutely. With prices especially below 50,000 rupees, I think it's very lucrative levels to start buying here. Also, talk to us about the dollar index and the impact on gold, because we are right now trading at a new 20-year highs at 110.79 in cents of dollar index.
Yes, while the dollar price, as you see, has been affected, you can't say the same about the gold price in other currencies. There is obviously every central bank is trying to increase the rates. So it will certainly soften in all the currencies, but not the difference between the fall in dollar price and the fall in other prices are not synchronized.
Right.
You know, it will be far, far lower in other currencies because against the dollars, even those currencies are not doing very well. Clearly, whether this dollar index strength will hold out is all, questions that economists will answer, and we will see as the market moves on with other news. At the moment, clearly, as one can say that this seems to be the trend, and in the very, very short run, you don't see much of a support for gold.
Okay. So when you say that, are you looking at 1,600 breaking? Because, so I know you don't predict prices here, but there are so many reports out there. And yes, most of them talking about how the prices can stay below 1,700 for the fourth quarter as well. But what are you reading? What are you hearing? What are people saying on, is 1,608, or do you think prices can go further below?
Look, gold could remain under pressure because if central banks continue to raise aggressively, and as I said, we should also look out for the forward-looking statements they are going to make about the economy. But then there is also the risk of stagflation. There's a risk of outright recession. You know, how market reads these developments, how market reads the probability of these really happening is going to be a supportive factor. So you can't really say it will be one way based on the rate hikes. At the moment, the overwhelming influence is obviously the monetary policy, but there are other factors which probably are beyond the control of monetary policy. That will probably aid gold. So it is very difficult to say whether it will be one way down.
Okay.
After the rate increase, particularly, we have always seen the space to do further increases comes down. Therefore, you could also see that the market, bounces back, saying that, oh, it's happened. Now, can there be another 75 basis? It will have a severe impact on various other aspects.
Right.
So that might be very positive for gold. So it's very difficult for me to say, Manisha.
All right. Take that point, Mrs. Somasundaram and Manisha, thank you so much for joining in and talking about gold and the fact that there could perhaps be some more downside from here itself. We wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report on that note. Business Lunch takes all the action ahead.